If you want to be in business for the long run and stay relevant, you're going to need to keep tabs on the social media landscape and join social networks that are going to take you into the future. That's exactly what Snapchat does. This platform is one of the social media outlets that have come from a constantly evolving world of social media, and it uses a novel and never before seen method of communicating. A way of communicating that shows where the future of social media is headed. Snapchat is all about the next generation. Do you want one really great reason to join Snapchat? There are way more than one, but if you need just one, think about the fact that Snapchat has become one of the most popular social media applications for people aged 12 to 24 years old. As you can see, that means the next generation of buyers and the generation after that are all going to be potential Snapchat veterans. And if your brand is on Snapchat and has been from the beginning, there's a good chance that you're reaching a lot of these young people. Snapchat creates excitement. Another great reason to join is that the way that Snapchat works is extremely fun and promotes serious interactivity between users. Snapchat is an exciting way to use social media, and brands are capitalizing on these young people's desire for exciting content by providing them with things like behind-the-scenes information about an event or brand, special promotions, discounts or giveaways that they couldn't find out about from any other source. Because of the way that information is communicated and how quickly it disappears, Snapchat promotes excitement with every single post. Snapchat can increase your online presence and gain you new followers. You may already have profiles on websites like Twitter and Facebook, and you probably have a Pinterest account and other social media as well. But whenever you join a major social media network, you're going to be expanding your online presence and you'll gain followers all around as a result, as well as better retaining followers on your other social media networks. In fact, you'll have a significant number of people coming to follow you on Snapchat from your other social media profiles, as well as having people find your Twitter and Facebook because they followed you on Snapchat. No matter how you slice it, Snapchat is one very possible future of social media. Making sure that you are prepared for the next generation of buyers is something that every business should be doing. And when you see social media platforms like Snapchat that is gaining popularity so fast, to the tune of 200 million active users per month, you need to get involved as quickly as possible and start using it to build your business even bigger. What is Snapchat? Snapchat is a very powerful social media platform that has become very popular as of late. Major brands are not only starting to get their presence onto Snapchat, but also advertise on the platform through Snapchat's discovery system. Snapchat is similar to other social media applications in that you create a profile and then have followers or fans that you communicate with. However, that is pretty much the extent of the similarities. Snapchat is remarkably different in the way that users communicate with each other and in the ways that information is shared. How Snapchat works. Snapchat is a program that works with a very specific media for communicating with other users. There are a couple of differences that make this program unique and one of the most interesting social media platforms in use today, like using photos and videos to communicate with people. While Twitter, Facebook, and most social media platforms mainly communicate with text, the only text you will find here is in the captions on pictures and videos. Another difference with Snapchat is that when you post your pictures and videos, they will only last from 1 to 10 seconds, with just a single exception, which we'll get into later. It might be difficult to understand how this works if you've never used the application. Just imagine that someone you are following on social media posts something and you get an alert. You go to their feed and check what they've posted, and it's either a picture with a caption or a short video. Or, if you didn't get there fast enough, you missed out. That's basically how Snapchat works, and you have followers and friends on the platform just like you do with other social media websites. What is the point of Snapchat? Snapchat is leading the way into the future of social media. This platform is going to be one of the big ones that will serve the next generation of consumers. The app is already being used by most teenagers, and even Facebook has seen the value of Snapchat and offered $3 billion for the company. However, the creators of Snapchat believed in their company enough that they refused Facebook's offer. Facebook has people who analyze a great deal of data in order to predict future trends, and if they think Snapchat is valuable, then brands should be jumping on it as quickly as they can. So, what's the point of Snapchat? To socialize, to build a following, to communicate with other people who share interests with you or have an emotional investment in what you are posting. On one hand, Snapchat is just a social media platform, but on the other hand, it may be the application that leads the charge into the future where social media posts will be less text and more pictures and video. Brands like Mashable, National Geographic, and Comedy Central, as well as several dozen others, see enough value in Snapchat to advertise with the application as part of the discovery feature, and thousands of others have joined the platform as well. If you have a brand, it should be on Snapchat. Depending on what type of site you have, adding Snapchat to it could be very easy or could be quite difficult. There are so many platforms out there now for creating a website, and content management systems like WordPress are not the only players in the DIY world of website creation. In this video, we're going to discuss how you can integrate Snapchat with your website and with your social media. If you have a WordPress website, being able to integrate Snapchat will depend upon the theme that you have. While all of the current themes definitely have places for Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and others that are more well known, not many of the themes out there have automatic places where you can put your Snapchat information. However, you can put your Snapchat ID and even your QR code on the sidebar of your WordPress site by using a text widget. If your website is built from scratch with HTML, then you may have to get your web designer to create a place for your Snapchat QR code and for the user information that you want to post on your website. You should definitely put the QR code in the header of your homepage so that people can easily take a picture of it and try to follow you on Snapchat whenever they visit your website. Integrating your Snapchat into your social media is going to take some creativity on your part. There really isn't any place that you can post your QR code and Snapchat information on Twitter. The only thing that you could do is replace your profile picture with your QR code, but this is probably a bad idea for several reasons. One, Twitter might not be happy that you're using a competing social media site's QR code on their site, and secondly, Snapchat might not be happy about it either. There's also the fact that you should have a decent profile picture on your Twitter account. One idea that may work on both Twitter and Facebook is putting your QR code within the background. In Twitter, that means the background that your tweets are sitting on, and on Facebook, you would have to put it in the larger header profile. Just make sure that you aren't being obtrusive so that the social media website doesn't have to complain to you about putting a QR code from a different social network onto their site, which usually they don't. And don't forget to remind people within your social media feeds as well as integrating it into your platform. So, how do you measure your success with Snapchat? Knowing whether or not a campaign was successful will depend on coming up with creative ways that you can figure out whether or not something worked. For example, if you did a Snapchat marketing campaign and you asked the users on that platform to do something on a different platform, then it would be very easy to measure your success, or at least the numbers. However, there's more to success than just the numbers, and we'll go into that here. Right, first let's talk about the numbers. Obviously, the numbers are important, but there is a great deal more to be aware of. Before you can get into any of that, however, you need to know the numbers, and so you're going to have to come up with some method of figuring out how many people you reached on Snapchat and how many of them took your call to action and actually follow you through signing up for an email list, posting a tweet with a certain hashtag, or whatever particular method that you're using. You can make use of the Snapchat tools that were discussed in the video on analytics, as well as your own methods of counting people that have responded. Now let's talk about the demographics. So you're going to have to figure out some way that you can get demographic information from the people that are responding to your marketing campaigns. Demographics are super important when it comes to campaigns because if you know what type of people have responded to a particular product or service or advertising campaign, then you know how to improve it next time. Demographics can be difficult to get, and the best way is probably to go with one of the companies that were discussed in the video on analytics because there really is no way to get that information with your own efforts. Finally, let's talk about user response. The last thing that you want to measure is how the users felt about the particular marketing campaign that you did. You want to know what they thought of the campaign itself, and also you should try to find out whether they were happy to sign up for your mailing list, whether that was because the order was terrific or whether they were on the fence about it. Finding out how users responded to a particular marketing campaign can go a long way in helping you improve future marketing campaigns and get better responses. Snapchat is one of the most interesting social platforms that has come around in a long time. The way that it allows users to communicate only through pictures and videos is very interesting, and it will be fascinating to see how the platform develops in the future. Marketing on Snapchat is something that people are starting to do more and more, and companies are spending a significant portion of their marketing budget on speaking to those people who use Snapchat. In this video series, we've gone over some of the reasons that you should use this social media and even took you through the entire sign-up process so that you can get your account online. We also showed you how to create your QR code, which you'll be able to use on all kinds of things like your website, the wall of your brick and mortar business, other places you decide to put it, like your business cards and even other social media platforms. Some of the highlights of other areas that were discussed in this series include taking you through the process of building stories and showing you how you can get fans by using those stories, as well as how you can get your initial following. There was also a great deal of information on using analytics and how you can use the numbers that Snapchat gives you to measure your own success. You can also use the analytics companies that are out there and promise to give you detailed information about your marketing efforts. Finally, we went over several ways that you can use Snapchat with other social media platforms and things like live events, as well as give you some ideas on how to get followers, like using brand influencers. I hope that the information in this video series will allow you to start using Snapchat and be able to use all of the features successfully without any problems. While there's no guarantee that a marketing campaign on Snapchat will be successful, there must be a reason why so many companies are starting to use Snapchat to do marketing. Since other people have found a great deal of success and companies are spending $750,000 a day just to be listed on the platform, odds are good that you'll find success as well.